When we want to shoot a picture, we use autofocus or manual focus to get a sharp picture before we press the shutter button. In the case of the autofocus, we can choose between multiple modes. Most cameras have 3. In the case of Canon cameras, they are called one shot, AI focus and AI servo. But what do they do and when do you use them for? Let's start with the first one, called one shot. This one may have another name on other cameras, but it does the same thing. With this focus mode, the camera is going to focus on your subject until you half press the shutter button. Then the camera is going to lock the focus, so this mode is the most suitable for immobile objects. If you need to focus on a moving object, then the next drive mode called AI focus is more appropriate. This one is useful if you need to focus on a subject with unpredictable and erratic movements. In this mode, the camera is switching between one shot and AI focus. This is determined by what is detected in the frame, if the subject is moving or standing still. So depending on the subject size, you may need to change the autofocus area selection, but more on that after we've covered the last autofocus mode. Now on to the last one, called AI servo. In this mode you force the camera to stay in AI focus and it's not going to switch back into one shot like with the last mode. So here the camera will just stay in that mode. It's more of a manual mode. Now let's come back to the autofocus area selection. When you're using one shot, using only one autofocus point can be a great combination, so you can really pinpoint the focus or play with depth of field, because there you have the most flexibility and then the most decision to do. So that's where you're going to be able to pinpoint the focus. This one is not the most appropriate when you try to shoot a moving object, because it can be difficult to keep it in focus. So depending on your subject size and how fast it's moving, you may want to use one of the next focus modes. The next one is going to split your frame into 3 sections: left, middle and right. It might be switched for you on camera. In those different zones, the camera will pick one or more autofocus point to focus on your subject. With this one you have less flexibility, because the camera is going to choose the autofocus points for you, so it's going to be harder to pinpoint the focus where you want to have it. Let's talk about the last one. This one is a fully automatic selection mode, where the camera is going to focus on the nearest object to the lens. This one is a great combination with an active mode like AI focus and AI servo. If the subject moves, for example, fast through the entire frame, it's the easiest to use, like if you try to shoot birds or a seagull, for example. If you use only one autofocus point, it can be hard to track that movement because it could be unpredictable and erratic. I hope now you understand how you use the different autofocus modes and the autofocus area selection. I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to make the like button blue so this video can spread to more people. A subscription would be focusing. If you want to check another video of mine here, I checked out if the EOS 750D is still a great camera to buy in 2022. So see you in the next one and take care of yourself.